Hello, friends. If we could sit together for a moment, I'd want to share something I've observed over many decades. Some people grow older with a sparkle in their eyes, laughter in their voices, and a lightness in their step, while others carry a weight, bitterness, or sadness that seems almost invisible but profoundly shapes every interaction. I want to speak directly to those younger than me, though these lessons are for all ages. Life is full of choices, small and large, that determine whether our later years feel rich with connection and joy or heavy with regret and resentment. Today, I'll share 7 observations I've made about why this happens, and what each of us can do to tilt our lives toward joy, even in the face of aging, loss, and change. These aren't abstract ideas. They're drawn from stories of real people I've known, and from my own journey. Point 1. Carrying unhealed pain. One of the most common reasons people grow bitter is carrying unhealed wounds. Pain that isn't faced, acknowledged, or expressed doesn't disappear. It festers quietly, shaping our reactions, our relationships, and our daily mood. Take Margaret, for example. In her 50s, she lost a job she loved. At first, she was angry, yes, but she never really processed it. She replayed the event over and over in her mind, feeling the injustice with each retelling. Over decades, the hurt became a lens through which she viewed the world. Her grandchildren felt the distance, even in moments when they tried to reach her heart. Bill, on the other hand, faced a similar loss but made different choices. He found someone he could confide in, expressed his feelings, and gradually sought ways to give his life renewed meaning through small acts. Mentoring a younger colleague, volunteering, fixing up his home. Over time, he felt lighter, more present, more open. The pain didn't vanish, but it no longer dictated his days. Advice: if old wounds still influence your life, find a trusted friend, counselor, or journal to express your story. Small, consistent acts of healing, writing, speaking, volunteering, can gradually free your heart. Point 2. Gratitude versus comparison. Another major factor that separates bitter from joyful hearts is the habit of comparing ourselves to others. Comparison is a silent thief. Joan, for instance, spent hours scrolling social media, watching friends and family live seemingly perfect lives, and measuring her own experiences against theirs. Her heart grew tight with envy and resentment. Contrast this with Jean, who each morning lists 3 small blessings: a cup of tea, the sound of birds, a phone call from a friend. That simple, consistent focus on gratitude nourished her soul. Tip: start a daily gratitude practice. Even a few minutes each day noticing what is good in your life creates a subtle but powerful shift. Limit exposure to social feeds or conversations that trigger envy or resentment. Your attention truly shapes your inner world. Point 3. The freedom of forgiveness. Bitter hearts often carry grudges, sometimes decades old. Parents, siblings, children, friends. Past wrongs linger, shaping current emotions. Henry had not spoken to his brother for 20 years due to a business dispute. One night, he decided to call. "I don't want to leave this life angry." The conversation was awkward and emotional, but Henry felt an immediate release. Forgiveness is not about excusing behavior. It's about freeing your own heart. Even if reconciliation is impossible, forgiveness can be private. Write a letter, perform a small ritual, or quietly release the pain in meditation or prayer. Don't forget self-forgiveness either. We all carry regrets, but holding on to self-recrimination is a heavy burden. Acknowledge mistakes, make amends when possible, and allow yourself compassion. Point 4. Relationships that lift or drain you. The company we keep profoundly shapes our emotional life. Mary, a widow, could have retreated into solitude. Instead, she joined a book club. The laughter, debate, and companionship energized her life and gave her a renewed sense of purpose. Tom, on the other hand, lived with family members who were critical and demanding. Each day wore him down. Gradually, he withdrew emotionally, bitterness taking root. Advice: evaluate your circle. Invest in relationships that nourish you. Protect yourself from those that drain your energy. Small adjustments in who we spend time with can shift our emotional climate dramatically. Point 5. Finding purpose and perspective. Loss of role often fuels bitterness. Retirement, children moving away, or loss of responsibilities can make people feel invisible or done. But purpose doesn't have to be grand. Robert, a retired finance professional, began volunteering to read to children at his local library. Seeing their joy reminded him he still mattered. His daily life gained rhythm, meaning, and light. Action. Find one small, consistent act of purpose. Volunteer, mentor, teach a skill, care for a neighbor, or nurture a project. Seeing tangible impact gives life structure and counteracts resentment. Point 6. Accepting life's seasons. Bitterness often comes from fighting against aging itself, resisting wrinkles, aches, or reduced energy. Acceptance does not mean giving up. It means recognizing reality and choosing to engage fully in the life that remains. Eleanor, 82, laughs when she asks for help opening a jar. She doesn't pretend to be young, but she embraces her season of life with humor and grace. That acceptance allows her to connect, enjoy daily moments, and feel light rather than burdened. Practice. Notice what's lost, but ask, what is still possible? Approach your body and life with kindness and curiosity. Humor, flexibility, and self-compassion ease the burdens of age. Point 7. Choosing joy every day. Finally, joy is a habit, not a stroke of luck. Small daily practices compound. Morning gratitude. Brief calls or messages to loved ones. Acts of kindness once a week. Moments to enjoy music, nature, or a warm cup of tea. Small consistent engagements with purpose. Sarah, a retired nurse, started 2 small routines, a 5-minute morning stretch and a weekly phone call to her sister. Within months, she felt lighter, more connected, and more alive. Little actions, repeated, transform a life. So why do some of us grow bitter while others radiate joy? It is the accumulation of small choices over time. Letting go of pain, practicing gratitude, forgiving, nurturing relationships, finding purpose, accepting life seasons, and embracing tiny daily habits that bring light. I want to hear from you. Which of these points resonates most? Have you seen them in your own life or someone close to you? Share your reflections in the comments. And if this conversation touched your heart, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who may need encouragement. Remember, aging is not simply a number. It is a chance to practice wisdom, compassion, and the art of choosing joy every single day.